Bonjour et bienvenue dans cette leçon de français. Aujourd'hui, on va explorer les expressions de temps. Hello, welcome to this French micro lesson. Today we're going to be looking at some French expressions of time, specifically looking at how we can translate the words ago, since, and for into French. Now, the first bit of French that we need to express the word ago is il y a. Now, this might be a bit confusing at first because I'm sure you've come across il y a before as meaning there is or there are. Par exemple, dans ma ville, il y a un centre commercial. In my town, there is a shopping centre. But you can also use il y a with a time frame to talk about how long ago something happened or how long ago someone did something. And the formula we're going to use with this is il y a plus time frame equals time frame ago. Par exemple, je suis arrivé il y a 5 minutes. I arrived 5 minutes ago. So in French, we have il y a, which comes first, followed by the amount of time, and in English we translate that as the amount of time first, followed by the word ago. Now, il y a with a time frame isn't always going to mean ago, it can also mean since. You can use il y a to talk about how much time has passed, how much time has elapsed since something happened, or since someone did something. But to do that, we use a slightly different structure to the one we just looked at when we want il y a to mean ago. So for this we use il y a with a time frame and then the word que. It has been time frame since something happened or since I or someone else did something. Okay, so the extra bit we've added in here is that que. Par exemple, il y a 5 minutes que je suis arrivé. It has been 5 minutes since I arrived. So though we've added in that que, QUE, it doesn't really translate into anything in English, but this whole kind of structure together changes the meaning of il y a from ago to since. So it has been 5 minutes since, and then the action. Now we can also use another word to mean since, and that word is depuis. We can use depuis to mean since in order to specify a start date or a start time for an event or an action. And the formula that we use with that is the following one. It's a present tense verb plus depuis plus the date, and that in English then becomes a perfect tense verb, since, and then the date. So it takes a bit of getting your head around this one because the tenses aren't the same in the two languages. Par exemple, je joue au foot depuis 2010. So je joue, I play football since 2010. In English, that becomes I have played football since 2010. Okay, so let's just go over that again quickly. Je joue literally means I play in the present tense, but when we translate it into English, it becomes the perfect tense. I have played. So that's the key difference, that's the key thing that we need to look out for when using depuis, because the word order is pretty much the same, so that doesn't catch us out. But what is going to catch us out is using the wrong tenses. You don't want to say j'ai joué au foot depuis 2010, because that's kind of thinking in English. You need to remember that the verb goes into the present tense, which is actually easier because the present tense is one of the easiest tenses to use, and using depuis allows us to say things in the perfect tense using just the present tense in French. Now, depuis, like il y a, can have two meanings, so it can also mean for, and we can use it in this way to specify how long something has been happening for, or how long someone has been doing something for. And to do that, we use exactly the same structure, but instead of using a date, we just change that date for a time frame. So present tense verb plus depuis plus a time frame, and that then becomes a perfect tense verb plus for, and then plus a time frame. So when we use it with a date, it means since. When we use it with a period of time, it means for. And again, it's got the same difference as the last one, that the present tense verb in French becomes a perfect tense verb in English. Par exemple, je joue au foot depuis 6 mois. So je joue, again, present tense, goes to the perfect tense. I have played football for 6 months. So here, because we're using it with a period of time, depuis means for, whereas in the previous one, the one we just looked at, because it was followed by a date, it means since. And we can also translate this into English using the perfect and continuous tense, and that's this one here where we'd say, I have been playing football for 6 months. So either of those is perfectly fine in English, and to express either of those ideas in French we'd use this exact formula, so present tense verb plus depuis plus time frame. The last French word that we're going to learn today is pendant, which can be translated as during, but the way we're going to use it today is to mean for. So you can use this word to mean for, but only for actions that have a concrete start and end. So we use depuis to mean for if we're talking about something that we have done up to the present moment for a period of time. Whereas we'd use pendant to talk about something that we start and we stop after a certain period of time, perhaps on a regular basis. It could be in the future, it could be in the past. So the formula for this is verb in any tense plus pendant plus time frame, and that equals verb in the same tense in English as the one you used in French, plus for plus time frame. Par exemple, je joue au foot pendant 3 heures chaque jour. I play football for 3 hours each day. So je joue, I play, in English, I play. So there's no weird changing of tenses going on here. We just use the same one in English that we used in French. And this has the idea that we start playing football, and then 3 hours later we stop playing football every day. Instead of I have been playing football for a period of time up to now. And we can also use different tenses with this. So we could do it in the past tense. We could say hier, yesterday. Hier, j'ai joué au foot pendant 3 heures. So yesterday I played football for 3 hours. And as I said, pendant can mean during, but it wouldn't sound as natural in English to say yesterday I played football during 3 hours. But you could say, for example, je joue au foot pendant les vacances. I play football during the holidays. So it can mean during, but with a specific time frame like 3 hours or 3 days or 10 minutes, it's best to translate this one as for. And that brings us to the end of this micro lesson. Merci d'avoir regardé. Thank you for watching. Some next steps you might want to take are to use these things in your speaking and writing to add some more detail, add some more variety, and to practice translating using depuis, because that's the one that you're probably going to get caught out with a couple of times because of the fact that we need to use the present tense in French and the perfect tense in English. But the more you practice, the more it will become just second nature to you, and the less you'll have to think about it when you want to use it. Encore, merci et au revoir.